Once war erupted in Europe, the flow of refugees sadly slowed to a trickle. But after the war, survivors began to arrive on these shores, broken and traumatized, most without homes, family, or funds. Many were ill and terribly scarred by the horrors they experienced. Self-help's role became even more pronounced, finding housing and jobs, providing financial assistance, and even 2-week summer respites in the Catskills, as well as a summer camp for children. Most importantly, the self-help volunteers provided caring, understanding, and compassion. An oasis of kindness desperately needed as survivors began to rebuild their lives.
Irma Maya, who was known as Irmchen, that was her nickname, and that's what everybody called her, was a lovely woman from Germany who sort of ran the employment office. She was in charge of the volunteers, including my mother, and she was sort of this ever-present being in self-help in those days. She was everywhere you needed her to be, and she was just a lovely, invigorating kind of a person to be working with and for.
My grandmother was very committed and very devoted to self-help. She would take calls all the time, and the dinner table conversation was always about clients. It was always about who needed help and what she could do and who could get involved. Immigrants helping immigrants is what it was all about. And my father and my aunt, of course, heard all this and were very involved. And as a matter of fact, we have 3 generations of mayor family that was involved. My mother was on the board of Self-Help for 30 years, and my father fundraised. My grandmother would be thrilled where Self-Help is today. I can still hear her voice today, sitting at the dining room table, telling us these stories.
People came right from the porch to Self-Help, asking where they could live, and they have children to play, so could they go to work.
Over 80 years ago, Self-Help's founders made a sacred pledge to serve as the last surviving relative to victims of Nazi persecution for as long as there is even one survivor who needs help. And today, this remains our imperative, a promise we fulfill each and every day, one client at a time.
I was born in Warsaw, Poland. Wonderful parents. We were 3 siblings. I was 14 when the war broke out, and my life came to a standstill, but I was alive because the life of my loved ones were all gone. I was still fortunate. I was left with my sister, may she rest in peace. I am alone in the 4 walls here at night. Yes, I am. But I'm not alone. With one phone call to Self-Help, I have someone who listens to me with compassion, with understanding, and I never feel alone any longer.